My name is Doug Parker, the host of Cruise Radio and the Cruise Radio News Briefs, and today we're going to take a tour of Holland America's Nieuw Amsterdam. This is one of the two signature class cruise ships from Holland America line. Before we get to the ship, I'd like to remind you that if you like this video and you want to see more cruise ship tours, subscribe to the channel and give that video a thumbs up. So Holland America's Nieuw Amsterdam is 963 feet long, 86,700 gross registered tons. She carries 2,106 guests double occupancy and built in 2010. So we'll start the tour on deck number 1, Midship. This is where you're going to find the guest services desk and the future cruise desk. So if you want to book a cruise while you're on your current cruise, you can do that right here. Or if you have a problem or have a question, go to guest relations right here as well. Nothing else is really on this level in this area until you walk all the way forward. Then that'll take you to the main stage, which is the theater on the ship. And so the main stage is decks 1, 2, and 3. You can enter from the main floor right here on deck number 1. Up to deck number 2, we'll start here in the main theater, and I have to tell you that when I was filming this, they were actually showing a movie in here. So when I walked in, I was only able to get some dark shots. However, there is some photos from Holland America of this show theater and what it actually looks like. The main stage is your typical lounge. 3 decks. You'll find bingo, production shows, and other welcome aboard shows held in here as well. Now, outside of the theater, you'll find a staircase and then a forward bank of 4 elevators. Keep walking aft and you'll head to the billboard onboard area. This space is just off the casino and has the dueling piano music in this area, along with plenty of bar space and seats for, hanging out around the piano while the dueling piano players are going at it and, singing all your favorite songs well into the night. The casino sits right across from the billboard onboard area as well. Now, the nightclub used to be called Northern Lights, and that was taken out a few years ago and replaced with the Gallery Bar. I would call this a sports bar / casino bar, I guess. There are a lot of TVs in here that air different programming. You'll also find a lot of artwork and chairs and seating, kind of a mishmash of different stuff in here, I guess you would say. Now, continuing the walk back, we'll head to the Queen's Lounge. This has a couple of different uses. Now, by day, they use it for their America's Test Kitchen programming. That's the PBS show. And then at nighttime, they have the B.B. King's Blues Club in here. And then on the nights when the Blues Club isn't happening, there's karaoke in here. Just aft and a little bit past the Queen's Lounge will bring you to the small open atrium area that we initially saw on deck number 1. You'll have the Pinnacle Grill Steakhouse up here. That's going to be on the port side. And then on the starboard side is the Pinnacle Grill Bar. So if you're waiting for your reservation, you can have a drink right across the way at the Pinnacle Grill Bar. The steakhouse is considered a specialty restaurant, and there is a flat fee to dine here. They also do theme nights as well. Chef Rudy Seldemir is sometimes held in here, and different type of one-off events. So not your typical steakhouse menu will be served in here. So you want to check with the steakhouse manager to see exactly what's happening on what night before you make your reservation. I'll also mention that the Pinnacle Grill does sometimes have a lunch menu offered, and that's typically, the last time I checked, around $10 per person, and dinner is around $35 per person. And they have this really good beef tenderloin with lobster dumplings, and it's by one of their chefs on their culinary council. So good. But then also you have like the 23-ounce porterhouse, the 12-ounce New York strip as well, and jumbo crab cakes, just different things in the steakhouse that you won't find in the main dining room, and a really good value as well. The art gallery is down the hall from the Pinnacle Grill, and then you'll come to the Explorer's Lounge. This is home to the Lincoln Center Stage. Here you'll find classical music played both pre and post dinner. And it's also the perfect location, too, because you can come in here and listen to music and then walk to the main dining room, because that's where we're going to head next, is the main dining room. 2 decks on decks 2 and 3 aft. But before we get to the main dining room, I do want to mention that they do have the Microsoft Digital Workshop on here. It was locked when I was walking around with the camera, but they offer different PC classes on photo editing, how to back up to the cloud, and a lot of 101 type courses. They don't have Macs on here, so I didn't really care to go in. But anyway, back to the main dining room. It's really beautiful on these signature class ships. One of my favorite areas is in the center. Now, you don't get that window when you're sitting in the center, but it almost feels like you have your own little private and secluded dining spot. A lot of cruise ships tend to have a dining hall feel in the main dining room. This is not one of those ships. And then up to deck number 3, that's the second level of the main dining room. You'll have as you wish dining on one level, and then the set dining on another, but that could change depending on your sailing and the demand of each one. And there is only one main dining room on the ship, and that is right here on decks 2 and 3 aft. Walking out of the main dining room and towards the front of the ship, you'll come up to the photo gallery where you can buy the photos that you've taken throughout your cruise. Also some GoPro cameras in here and different accessories for your camera. But if you want to take a hard right when you walk out of the dining room, you can actually walk outside to the main deck that kind of goes on each side of the ship. That's where the lifeboat is, where your muster station will be if you ever had to use it. But you could have a nice brisk walk out here, especially a really cool place to walk. Well, for one, if you're trying to watch a sunset or sunrise, but when you're sailing in the Alaska area and just that nice cool air after dinner, you have a little jacket on, maybe your loved one, get a little close. You see where I'm going with this. So just ahead of the photo gallery is the Ocean Bar. That's where you have a small stage, some dancing, some craft beers in here. I was on the ship when it was in Alaska, so there was about a dozen different types of Alaska Brewing Company beers. And it was a nice touch. There's this area also hugs the atrium. So if you look down here, you can look down onto deck number 2, which is the Pinnacle Grill, or deck number 1, where the guest services desk is located. As we continue our walk forward, I do want to note that the 3 banks of elevators on this ship, so forward, mid, and aft. The forward goes up to deck number 11. That's where the retreat and the crow's nest is. The mid elevators go up to deck number 11 as well. That's where the Tamarind restaurant is. And then the aft elevators go up to deck number 10, which is the Lido deck where the buffet area is. So walking forward, you're going to walk through the shops. There's a lot of shopping space on this ship. They pretty much dedicated, I would say, a fourth of the 3rd floor to shopping. You have your diamond rings, you have your watches, your teddy bears, ship models, ornaments, hoodies, parkas. I mean, whatever you want to get, they'll sell it to you here. Also, I was filming this, we were docked in Alaska, so the shops were closed. So that's why you see these big gates all over the shopping area. Walking out of the shopping area, you'll have some meeting rooms on your port side and then your starboard side. Now, this space on the starboard side used to be a movie theater, but I've noticed that they do not seem to be using it for movies, at least on this cruise, and they were showing movies in the big main theater. So I'm not sure what's up for that, or if they're using this space for something else. If you do know, feel free to drop it in the comments. And as you keep walking forward, you'll walk back into the main stage, which is the theater. And just to recap, the theater is 3 levels, deck 1, 2, and 3, deck 3 being the cheap seats. All right, so going up, deck 5, 6, 7, and 8 are all staterooms with the exception of the Neptune Lounge, and that kind of coincides with the suite guests on here. They can hang out in the Neptune Lounge during the day, snacks and all that stuff. Only for suite guests, though. Deck 9 forward is where you'll find the greenhouse spa and salon. The fitness center is located up here. Your fitness center, it's a nice size one. There's actually like a yoga studio in here. Plenty of workout equipment. You have your free weights, and then your treadmills, and your upper body strength building machines as well. Aside from the fitness center, you're going to have your thermal suites up here with the thalassal therapy pool. Also, the massage and treatment rooms where you can get your couples massages and different kind of bamboo hot stone massages and things like that. Outside of the spa deck is the midship pool. The midship pool has a retractable roof on it, so it's perfect for sailing Alaska, especially in chilly weather in the early and late season where it can get down to like the 40s at nighttime and 50s or 60s during the day. Hot tubs by the pool as well as a pool bar, and you'll also come across those awesome dive-in burgers out there. Their dive-in burger shack is really, really good. Complimentary venue, has different styles of burgers, dogs, and french fries, even cheese fries, which are amazing. Walking through the glass doors will take you to the Lido Deck Marketplace, or Lido Market they call it here on Holland America. And what this is your typical buffet. It's both on the port and starboard side. It pretty much mirrors each other. And there's salad stations, hot stations, dessert stations, and you have beverage stations in the front and in the back of the Lido Market. And you'll notice everything is really spread out. So if you can't find a seat, say it's a sea day, or everyone is kind of like having a mad rush for the Lido Market for a snack or what have you, you can always go out and sit by the pool. Walking out of the Lido Marketplace and through the glass doors will take you to the aft pool. This one is not covered. There's 2 hot tubs out here. One good thing about this area is, there's plenty of seating. There's also the pizza place, New York Deli Pizza back here. But it's another spillover spot for seating and tables. Say the pool is a little too crowded and you don't want to get out there with people splashing around or what have you. So head out here to the back. There's plenty of tables and plenty of seating, plus there's a staircase that'll take you up to deck number 10. And that is where not really a lot shaken on deck number 10. You have Club Howl up there. The loft is the teen kids club, and then Club Howl is the regular kids club. A cool thing with Club Howl, and they don't really want adults in there, but because the ship is named New Amsterdam and it's, New York themed, there's a big yellow taxi cab in Club Howl. It's actually really cool. Not much else on deck number 10, though, aside from staterooms, and that's on the forward part of the ship. Deck number 11, a little of this, a little of that. The sports squares in the very back of the ship on deck number 11. That's where you're going to have the basketball court for the outdoor activities. You have your 2 smokestacks up there. One of my favorite places on this ship is located on deck 11, and that is Tamarind. It's an Asian fusion restaurant. So there's a Tamarind restaurant, and then right across the hallway is the Tamarind bar. As of September 2019, the cost to eat at Tamarind is $25 per person, and they also have specialty cocktails that are Asian themed and that their master mixologist has on the menu. I will say it's worth it if you have a dinner reservation at Tamarind to come a little bit early and just sit at the Tamarind bar, because you can actually look out onto the ship from deck 11 looking down. Now, what you will see, it depends if the retractable roof is closed or not, because it's pretty much the pool area. But if you're in Alaska, this is the perfect spot to grab a drink and look for whales. The retreat area is also located on deck 11 forward. This is the space where you can rent cabanas during the day. You have food and drink service in a much smaller, intimate setting and not kind of mixed in with everyone else. There is a premium for these cabanas, and they do vary by sailing, and they are seasonal, so you'll want to check out the rates before you sail, because these do sell out pretty quickly as well. And then all the way forward at the very top of the ship is the crow's nest. Within the crow's nest, there's Exploration Central, a lot of digital programming in here that shows the ship's navigation, port info, and excursion details. They also have these big tabletop, think iPads, that let you browse different areas that you're going to. You'll also find a small library up here in a lecture area on the port side. If you like this video and you want to see more cruise ship tours, subscribe to the channel and give it a thumbs up. You're the reason why I do make these videos. And that'll do it for the tour of New Amsterdam. A couple of closing thoughts here. Do your research, especially if you're sailing in Alaska or the Panama Canal. There are actually a few balconies on this ship that are really large and perfect just for those panoramic views. Also, eat everything in sight, from the Asian fusion place to the steakhouse to even the pizza and the dive-in burgers. All are so good. The food is really solid on here. My name is Doug Parker. I'm the host of the Cruise Radio Podcast and the Daily Cruise Radio News Briefs. You can find both of those where you listen to your favorite podcast. Just type in Cruise Radio or Cruise Radio News. So what do you think about Holland America's New Amsterdam? Have you sailed her or the sister ship, the Eurodam? Let me know in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching.